Hello, welcome back to Danganronpa 2. We are solving the mysteries of the Funhouse, but will that lead us to the identity of Nekomaru's killer?
It truly deserves to be called the ultimate weapon!
The building itself, you mean? The Funhouse is the true identity of the ultimate weapon? What does this mean? How did the killer use that to murder Nekomaru? And who is the killer who did that? It would have to be the other person that... Oh! I, again, probably picked a bad time to...
Hiya!
Probably called the last one a little prematurely. Why, hello there! I thought of a brand new bad word to call Monami. I can already tell I won't be pleased by this. But let me say it right away! I'm already used to insults and slander. There's no way I'll get hurt by a mere word. Monami is a serious... Stuffatly! What? That's much more straightforward than I expected. Stuffatly? Huh? Tisk, tisk, tisk. That's not it. That's not it at all. Stupid, fat, and ugly. The perfect jet stream attack incorporating all three of these would be... Ta-da! Stuffatly! There's a fat hidden in there.
Okay, everyone, all together now. Monami is a serious Stuffatly.
I'll have to remember that one.
Hello! I hope your day is well.
Well, thank you.
I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up. My heart's thumping like crazy. I might as well have a laid-back, so what attitude and go ahead with high energy. Yeehaw! But be careful that your batteries don't run out for various reasons. And just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently. I never expected the Funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon. Oh well, let's just press on ahead.
Recovered from that fast.
Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily? I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is the killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Nekomaru's murderer?
It would have to be somebody else who cleared the final dead room, then.
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying?
He's right. There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but I will sincerely retract that remark.
This is something we're gonna have to find out, too. What he saw in those files.
Retract?
I'm disappointed too, you know? If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder.
Gonna have to go with Gundam on this one.
Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
I hope so. I hope so. I like Gundam too. I hope he's not the killer.
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can. Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Of course not. It's okay, hun.
Akane! You're drooling waterfalls?
Nagito. As usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or not.
Anyway, if the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
Okay.
How they killed Nekomaru.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Yeah. Nekomaru's cause of death. He was horribly damaged as if he were beaten senseless with a blunt object. But if he was beaten with a blunt object, it wouldn't be a kill that utilized the building's structure. So what was Nekomaru's cause of death that also utilized the building's structure? Falling, crushed by the elevator, dead, beaten with a blunt object, or dead battery.
I see.
I think that's it, because the loop on that
I think he might have died from falling.
the loop on the wire was tied to the, I'm sure it was tied to the doorknob that was found on Strawberry Towers. The doorknob on Strawberry Towers. So that means it had to have... The killer had to have tied him to it, and then moved the elevator back down, and then so that eventually he would fall off, and I'll bet he hit his head then on the top of the pillar, and that was what caused it to collapse. That's why he's laying on top of pieces of it rather than pieces of it laying on top of him.
Died from falling?
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
That, I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method. Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
Oh, wait.
It might be possible in the tower. You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the 1st floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
Whatever you say, Naruto.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? If I'm gonna reach the truth behind this incident, I need to solve that mystery next.
When the elevator is on the 1st floor,
What was Akane's account again? Oh, she heard a rumbling around 5:30. Doorknob found under the tipped over. Okay, it was under the pillar. So that means the pillar fell after the doorknob did.
you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the
Oh!
other door won't open.
That's what the...
Which means the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
That's why he was put in sleep mode. So it wouldn't detect anything. I need to make it clear so they understand that Nekomaru fell to his death. Looks like it's all up to me.
When the elevator is up, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking they moved the elevator and made use of the...
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside.
No, that's wrong! That sensor should
this is
only work
good.
if something is moving.
Yeah.
If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
Bingo.
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed it, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from. Yes.
That's what I was about to explain before Kazuichi interrupted me. Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
Poor Kazu. He is really getting the business from Sonya in this trial. A way to create the drop inside the elevator while Nekomaru is still in it. Chiaki seems to have an idea, but what way could that be? I'm sure that it was the wire that tipped over. Okay, it's gotta be the wire or the broken doorknob.
If you arrange it a certain way...
Okay, the wire. Nekomaru's body and left leg were tied with a metal wire. The tip of the wire was also tied in a loop. And then... yeah.
You can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is...
The hammer is suspicious.
I don't think the hammer had to do with
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
That
The doorknob
happened.
on the floor seems suspicious.
Yes.
How about we all shut up and listen to what Chiaki has to say?
Silence, pest!
Don't be so cold. What if I start to enjoy it?
Oh. Oh, that's what you're into, Kazu. If Nekomaru's inside the elevator, how do you create a difference in elevation?
If you arrange it a certain way, you
Yeah.
can cause the drop...
So you're telling to think
Okay.
about the arrangement.
That
I
arrangement...
think...
The hammer is suspicious. Isn't it about time we...
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
I agree with that. Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it? That
Yeah.
might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Yep.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob,
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
Huh?
The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Great Tower. And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
Oh my.
You better not finish that sentence!
the killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy.
Oh. Now Kazu's having none of
So
it.
what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that.
Oh.
Why? If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall? Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
What if it has to do with the screws that were removed from the doorknob, doesn't it? The killer removed some screws from the doorknob so that it would break.
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him up. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru, if he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru inside.
I can't even... the game wouldn't even... The game wouldn't even let me do anything else.
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push... There's no way they could do that!
Oh, I only have a certain number I can do.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Crap! What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? Crap! What?
No.
Nekomaru should have... If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time if you... But in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Neko is just impossible. End of story.
Oh, am I... Hold on. Thanks to Kazuichi, I think I figure out how the killer dropped Nekomaru. If I use that evidence, I should be able to break through his remarks, too.
What?
Shit, what was it then?
Nekomaru should have still been in... If he was...
Tipped over killer. Hammer? I don't think they... What, for real?
Damn it! Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off.
Oh!
It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own. Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode. Right? If he was sleeping,
Wait,
there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story. What?
Okay.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
There we go.
Cut through those words. What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
That's right. Somebody messed with his alarm and made it so it woke him up while he was
He
suspended.
has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why,
You would have panicked, wouldn't you?
if something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right?
Yeah.
Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, in order to make it fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off. When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
I don't know. Again, I thought that they engineered it that way.
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something.
Oh. That's a good point. The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, I shall use my full power! Ugh! The fierce roar, Nekomaru put all his power into grabbing the doorknob with both hands. But Yeah, even Nekomaru, though, he had a hard time ripping the... He had a hard time with the doorknob. Wait, isn't it creaking? If you break off the doorknob, we'll be stuck in here. If that's really what it was, then that's the clue Nekomaru left us to find.
I see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
You finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig.
No, you're not.
Isn't that right, Miss Sonia?
Oh.
If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
Oh, wait. Okay, he is into it now.
No, I believe you gave your all.
Oh.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
He was getting into the verbal abuse. Oh, Kazu. Kazu.
This guy, he gets off on this.
Hey, don't judge Fuyuhiko.
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down. That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
Right, he fell on the pillar. It doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the pillar. The moment Nekomaru fell to the floor, the only thing I can think of what happened to him was he collided with the pillar.
I see! When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Just in a different way than what we all thought it would
Well,
be.
the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
That's
and if
true.
we map it out from there,
That's true.
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Oh, the baby gangsta again.
stop calling me baby gangsta.
Nope. You're baby gangster from now on.
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
That's right. This whole thing hasn't been explained.
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nah, that's
No.
impossible.
Because we found the body right before 7.
Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
Not only that, but the rumbling that was heard at 5:30 suggests that was when the pillar collapsed. Therefore, I think Nekomaru died at 5:30 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
So what happened here?
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed.
Indeed.
How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know!
Another mystery I don't understand? Seriously, it's just one after another. But I can't choke up at a time like this. Just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. There should definitely be a clue to breaking through this contradiction. Well, let's do it then. Right button, Fuyuhiko's account, wall clock, broken doorknob.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Right?
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
Killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
No.
That's gotta be it!
No. Because of the whole thing with the radio clock. The alarm that caused Nekomaru's death rang at 7:30 a.m., but we discovered his body before 7. I need to crush one possibility at a time if I'm going to break through. And that would be the fact
We headed for Great Tower.
that the idea that
before
somebody
The alarm
had
inside was
tampered
set
with
for
the
7.
alarm.
Nekomaru died.
This time of death, one of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru.
No, that's wrong! No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Then how else did they do it?
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
Really? We were stuck in that building. There was no way we could tell what time it actually was. Was there?
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
This time-related contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we overlooked something. Maybe we're misunderstanding something. If I focus and think, I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Oh, another one of these. Okay, let's do it. I have a feeling that the killer must have tampered with the other clocks in the funhouse to give us a false impression of what time it really was. What did Hajime and the others misunderstand? The time in the building. Yes! Mission 2. Which clock was tampered with? Nekomaru's radio clock, the building's clocks. Which house had the wrong time? Both houses, since all the clocks were examined. Man, I'm killing this so far. Again, I think either I'm just getting better at this, or turning down the action setting was the right choice to make.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right for you, Hiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
Or all of them had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks had been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it. I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So, when we thought it was 7 a.m., in actuality, it was 6 a.m., wasn't it?
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Is it?
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right, that's the main problem. I need to clarify by how much the time was off after the killer messed with the clocks. Well, according to, I think it was Fuyuhiko. He saw Nekomaru walking toward the first floor of Strawberry House at 5 a.m. So if the time was off, that's definitely the next mystery. I'm gonna reach the truth in one go.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
Oh.
It would have been a great clue.
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a scream.
Connie heard a rumbling noise at around 5:30 a.m.
If only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough, we would have heard it too.
There's no point in saying that. If does not exist in this world.
By how much did the killer adjust the time inside the building? How would I even figure that out?
If the
Okay,
time in the
so it
building
was
all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
You know, Japan gets earthquakes fairly frequently, from the sound of it, so I guess it would make sense that people in Japan wouldn't pay it much mind.
Well, a huge body
Unless
fell
it's
from the fourth floor
like
to the first,
really
and the pillar
severe.
fell with it.
After all, Japan is on a big fault line.
It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge.
Yes, you thought it was 5:30.
What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
You didn't.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
Oh.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
Yes.
I heard that sound Probably around 5:30 in the morning.
So the clocks were set 2 hours back.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane.
That rumbling sound we heard was at 5:30. It's like the answer to how much our time was off is literally right in front of me.
I see! Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30. And if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Yeah, the starvation definitely, would probably affect your whole, perception.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
Yeah, there was no way to really tell what time it really was.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they could lure out just Nekomaru.
Ah. Lure out only Nekomaru. So is he their target the entire time?
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right?
A specific thing?
From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
How did they lure Nekomaru to the tower? Besides messing with the time, the killer also used a specific thing. If they were trying to lure out only Nekomaru, that specific thing is... I guess the clock's alarm. In order to lure out only Nekomaru, did the killer take advantage of the clock's alarm? The clock in the lounge that Fuyuhiko and the others heard? But Nekomaru didn't go there. What's the point of luring to the lounge anyways? Are you suggesting the killer and Nekomaru took a stroll to the crime scene? Just the two of them?
Damn it!
Oh, that's not it.
Damn it!
What? What am I... not...
I see!
I guess the Monokuma Tai Chi?
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
Oh, right, because that's where he was supposed to go, was Great Tower.
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they messed with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us? We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru.
Right.
His radio clock had the exact time. That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
And when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning...
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m.
It was actually 7.
And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule. I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early! He didn't even ask you yet!
Jeez, how outrageous! I honestly didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. But it turned out like this after all, so I guess it can be helped. Because when we went there, it was actually 9 a.m.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right?
Yes.
We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez! That's... well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad!
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Has it?
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
Oh, because of... He, Gundam, and,
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
yeah. Yeah, he...
You witnessed Nekomaru
Gundam.
going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Yeah, the alarm went off in the lounge. What was that
Are you
all
talking
about?
about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off.
What
Plus,
was-
it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
Who doesn't have an alibi?
Remember.
Yeah. Yeah, Fuyuhiko, Kazuichi, and Gundam were in the lounge together when that
The
happened.
sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. There was one guy who never left the lounge.
Oh,
We were
Nagito.
both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Yeah.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell? Who is it? Who's the bastard?
Whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time. Nagito.
You're the only one!
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
Was it him? Then again, I don't think he's the killer, because the killer would have had to have gone to the final dead room before Nekomaru was killed.
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
So, if that's the case, though, it had to have been Akane, Chiaki, or Sonya who did it.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please, say something!
No defense?
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
Yeah,
If I
suicide
may,
dive him.
Frank,
Oh?
even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't. You couldn't? What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's merely the foolish talk of the
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
So, where the hell were you? He couldn't.
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me. It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
Is there what consistency? Is there consistency between you two?
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
I don't think Hajime heard it either.
I was in a pretty deep sleep,
so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it, but it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
You still don't know. Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Between Nagito, Chiaki, and Sonya. The only people who didn't hear the rumbling noise were Nagito, Sonya, and Chiaki. What do they have in common? Could this be the secret that points to the killer? Oh, fuck. Hangman's Gambit? Shit. Okay, Nagito, Sonya, and Chiaki. They were all... Oh, they were in the deluxe rooms, weren't they? Are they soundproof? Is that what we're going for here? No, not what I was going for. Oh my god! Jesus! Freaking Hangman's Gambit is fucking brutal in this!
Nagito, Sonya, and Chiaki, the three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
The guest rooms are divided by quality grade. The deluxe room is soundproof and has excellent air insulation. Standard room has so-so insulation, but it's still pretty decent. Crummy room has severe airflow and draft problems.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise...
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation. I actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve corps student talent?
I sure am.
Now then, you guys must understand by now, right?
Oh?
The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
What? Wait. This proves who the killer is?
Hold on a sec! Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Somehow I feel like I understand what Nagito means. The killer among us. The killer who murdered Nekomaru. Somebody... Does he mean it was somebody who was in a deluxe room? Or somebody who was in another room who did not report hearing the noise? Oh no. Was it... If that's the case... Well, Akane was in a crummy room. Did she... Okay, he didn't hear the noise. You were in the lobby. You were in the lobby. Okay, you were... Okay. Don't tell me it was Akane. Come on, game. Haven't you hurt me enough? Haven't you hurt me enough with Mikan? Don't tell me. Tell me I'm wrong, please! No evidence at all that... So it was someone staying in the deluxe room? So, Nagito? Chihiro? It wasn't Sonya, was it? That's right, she didn't report... no, that's right, she didn't but... Was it... No, oh, no. It wasn't Chihiro, what? It... Not the killer. Instead, it doesn't seem like it's someone from Strawberry House.
Crap!
Oh, damn it! I was on fire throughout this whole thing, and yet... This one is really knocking me for a loop. They were all in the lounge together, though, except for Nagito.
Crap!
I was thinking backwards. This person, they had a deluxe room, and yet they still responded when the alarm in Strawberry House sounded. Gundam. Why? Again, I was just saying I liked you.
You're the only one!
No. Gundam, why?
There's something I want to ask you. When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
Yeah, even though he was in a soundproof room.
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Why were you able to hear it?
Yeah.
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right?
Yep.
Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
There's only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Does he?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko.
Me?
Oh yeah, he would have seen him.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct?
So he would have seen Gundam returning to his room.
Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Nekomaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
Right.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
So why did he go to the lounge then? Why did he not take advantage of the distraction caused by the alarm and slip back into his room unobserved?
Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
Because I was in the lounge.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Hey, what are you doing? This raucous is louder than the supreme ruler of the Netherworld bellowing for a sacrifice. Don't go making all that noise so suddenly.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
Right, you'd think that's what he would have done if he wanted to avoid suspicion.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
Really?
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Tell us it wasn't you.
Answer me this, including myself and my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess? The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
That is true. I think hamsters have better hearing than we do.
Is that your argument? You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Is it? Again, I want to believe you, Gundam. I don't want to think you're a bad guy, but again, I didn't want to think Mikan was a bad guy either, but...
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out.
Are you?
Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
We don't know everything yet, Nagito. Let's not jump to conclusions.
Hold on a second. You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
What do you mean?
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Yeah.
Perhaps I should say it's just a farce.
Huh?
Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers.
What?
Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you,
Yeah.
didn't it? At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder.
Yeah, when he read those files.
What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
I guess so.
You said opening act again!
Yeah, what's he mean by opening act?
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
Got anything to say for yourself?
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Well, you're free to prove us wrong if you can back it up.
From the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
But the killer still could have... The killer had apparently beaten the final death room.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, you wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing.
He's right about that.
Means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
That's wrong. When something's obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome.
I'm playing a game.